the one, but yeah, I knew they would probably like moan at shit and that because that's what they do. John likes to moan.
Complete embarrassment. Please stop it unless you're going to do something about it. So anyway, that's enough about Big John Fury, a fighting man who don't want to fight really. That's enough about him. Big fucking bully, that's what he is, and it will come on top.
I think John Fury's genuinely a bully, and I wouldn't mind if he was doing anything he says, but he's just all mouth. I've never seen him do any of the shit he said he's going to do. And Tyson Fury loves banging on the camera. He doesn't care about money. Hang on a minute. Doesn't care about money. Are you sure about that? Like, are you sure? If anyone doesn't...
Father-son relationship, and that's stuff for me that's should be left to keep on a personal level. I think those two have achieved so much. I mean, I've not always seen eye to eye with both of them, but
I just don't like the way John carries on me. I think John Fury's genuinely a bully, and I wouldn't mind if he was doing anything he says, but he's just all mouth. I've never seen him do any of the shit he said he's going to do. He just walks around saying I'm a real fighting man. But let's watch you have a fight at least. You and Joe Egan get into it, but then I don't know.
Do you need to get off, or are we okay?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Right,
my stomach's in bits. I need a shit, honestly.
Thanks, mate. Just quickly, we should talk about Guerrilla Promotions.
Yeah, we should.
All he's doing is attention seeking, and he's getting more attention now. But yeah, him anyway. Tyson Fury, Makbadov. Good little fight. Tyson's nice and relaxed. He's coming back again after retiring. He's back out of retirement. We kind of knew it was going to happen. He seems in a good place. He seems quite happy. He's not out of shape. He's in his usual shape, which isn't great shape in terms of physicalities to look at. He's not good on the optics, but you know he's in shape because he's not 28 stone.
I didn't know. They've always been very close, and John's always been a big part of the training team. I know he's had his trainers in Sugar Hill and Ben Davison, but John's his dad, and he's been a big part of the journey. And for some reason, I don't know why, it's not my business, but they've clearly fallen out. And it's never nice to see. And
I think he's a bully, John Fury. I think he's a proper bully, and he talks about fighting man. I don't buy none of it. I don't buy it.
Relationships, you repair them in private, not in the public domain. John, on the times that I've met John, I found him to be engaging and charming. Mm-hmm. But there's other times when I've seen him whether it's an act, or created or whatever, it's boorish, it's unpalatable, it's unpleasant. When you headbutt Ukrainians in front of Saudi royalty and behave yourself in a way that's not particularly appetizing, you get judged by it. So, with due respect to the fact it's a scoop for these guys, I'm not hugely interested in John Fury's.
I don't have people around me, never have and I never will, because I'm a psychopath. I can't have a million people around me because it doesn't work. I just have the same old people I've always knew, that's it. I'm not interested in making new friends, I'm not interested in what the next man's got, I'm not interested in what the next door neighbour's doing, don't care. Keep me...
The split between Tyson Fury and his father John has just exploded into a full-blown war, and Darren Till is absolutely destroying John Fury with zero mercy. This isn't just family drama anymore. Till is calling John Fury a bully, an attention seeker, and completely out of line. And here's the kicker: respected voices across the boxing world are backing Till's position. When you see what's been happening behind the scenes, when you understand the real damage John Fury has caused, Till's brutal takedown makes perfect sense. This is about a heavyweight champion trying to focus on his comeback while his own father creates chaos for headlines.
But he's saying that Tyson isn't himself anymore. And I tend to agree with John Fury. He's certainly not at his best anymore. I mean, how could he be after everything he's been through and stuff like that? So I tend to agree with that, right? But he was saying words to the effect of that the wilder...
But here's where it gets absolutely wild. Till doesn't just criticize John Fury, he completely dismantles his tough guy image piece by piece. He's calling him all talk and no substance, exposing how John's behavior has crossed every line imaginable. And get this, Carl Froch jumps in and backs Till's position completely. When Carl Froch, one of the most respected former champions in British boxing, calls you a bully and attention seeker, that's not just an opinion. That's the entire boxing community telling you that your behavior has become toxic. The fact that multiple insiders are now publicly siding against John Fury shows just how far his actions have pushed people. This isn't about family loyalty anymore. This is about a father whose ego has spiraled so far out of control that even strangers feel compelled to defend his son.
You know, obviously Fury's got his own fans and people that think that he is a legend and one thing and another. Well, that's all well and good, but you've got to look at his resume. It doesn't stack up. Not to the great fires. It doesn't.
Now listen to this part. Simon Jordan breaks down exactly why John Fury's public attacks on Tyson are completely backfiring. Jordan explains that by taking family business public, John has made himself look selfish and out of touch with reality. Think about this for a second. Your son is a former heavyweight champion of the world, training his ass off in Thailand, preparing for a comeback that could cement his legacy forever. And instead of supporting him, you're giving interviews questioning his ability and motivation. Till's criticism suddenly makes total sense. He's watching a champion get undermined by the one person who should have his back no matter what. And the boxing world is taking notice. When respected analysts like Simon Jordan start calling out your behavior, when they're explaining why your actions are damaging and unnecessary, that's when you know you've lost the narrative completely.
The thing is there's nothing more left in life for these boxers. When these great boxers, what's completed the game and they've got everything, what else can Tyson do? You know, there's only so much yachts and sailing, and there's only so much flying on holidays, and there's only so much fucking whatever a normal person thinks is good you can do before you're sick.
Hold up, did you catch what Tyson himself revealed about loyalty and focus? This is where Till's support becomes crystal clear. Tyson talks about staying focused on his inner circle, about not letting distractions affect his training or mindset. But his own father has become the biggest distraction of all. While Tyson is in Thailand working on his craft, John Fury is back home giving interviews that question everything from his son's motivation to his ability to compete at the highest level. Till sees this for what it really is, a father whose need for attention has become more important than his son's career. The contrast is stunning. You've got a former champion showing incredible discipline and dedication, and his father is actively working against that focus by creating drama and controversy. No wonder Till is calling this behavior completely out of line.
No, I'm not saying what John said, but obviously I suppose he's in a position where he knows his son, he probably knows the best version of him, and he's probably looking at him now and just feels that it isn't. I think all questions will be answered on the 11th of April, won't they? And we'll see what he's got.
And get this, even Duke McKenzie weighs in and basically confirms that John Fury's commentary carries no real weight in the boxing world. McKenzie's analysis shows that while John talks tough and demands attention, his actual influence and credibility are practically non-existent outside his immediate circle. This is exactly what Till has been saying all along. John Fury has built this persona as some kind of boxing authority, but when real boxing people analyze his impact, there's nothing there. Meanwhile, Tyson's achievements speak for themselves. Former undisputed heavyweight champion, victories over Deontay Wilder, one of the greatest comebacks in boxing history. Yet his father's public statements try to overshadow all of that with manufactured drama. Till's frustration becomes completely understandable when you realize he's watching genuine greatness get diminished by someone whose only claim to fame is being related to that greatness.
Tyson, I think, used his dad to keep him involved and as a infiltrator, you know, someone that can shout and scream and cause a bit of chaos and unrest, you know. And I think like he doesn't need that in this fight.
But wait, it gets worse. Shane Fury, who actually knows the family dynamics, puts Tyson's mindset into perspective. He explains that Tyson has achieved everything but still has that hunger to prove himself at the highest level. This directly contradicts every criticism John Fury has made public. While John questions Tyson's motivation and readiness, people close to the situation see a fighter who's more determined than ever. Till's defense of Tyson makes perfect sense here. He's watching a champion get questioned by someone who clearly doesn't understand the fighter's actual mindset or preparation level. When family members are contradicting John's narrative, when they're showing that Tyson is exactly where he needs to be mentally and physically, it exposes just how disconnected John has become from reality. Till isn't just defending Tyson from outside criticism, he's defending him from family members who should know better.
All just made for him. It's a perfect fight for him. Got the height, looks apart, he's strong. I think Tyson's hands will be too fast. I think Tyson, his feet are the thing what I want to see. I want to see how his feet have deteriorated, because it happens to everybody. So I just want to see what version of Tyson we get. He's out in Thailand training, so he's got to make sure he trains right. No cutting corners at this stage in your life. 37 years old. There's a lot of young lions knocking at the door, watching you. You're in a meal ticket, they're planning for you already. And I think
Here's the kicker that nobody's talking about. Fraser Clark tries to rationalize John's behavior by saying he knows Tyson better than anyone, but Till would argue that knowing someone doesn't give you the right to publicly undermine them. Just because your family doesn't mean your criticism is automatically valid or helpful. In fact, public criticism from family can be even more damaging because it gives ammunition to real enemies and doubters. Tyson is preparing for fights that could define the final chapter of his career, and his father is out there giving interviews that question his readiness and ability. That's not insight, that's sabotage. Till sees this clearly, and his outspoken support shows that sometimes outsiders can be more loyal than blood relatives. The boxing world respects what Tyson has accomplished and what he's trying to accomplish, while his own father seems determined to create obstacles and distractions.
If you can't show your father respect when it's needed, keep going. I don't need you. I don't need him and his millions. I need nothing off him. I wish him well, but he's put those people before me, his blood father. That's hurt me like you wouldn't believe. So, they can jog on. And I mean.
Now listen to this part because it gets absolutely insane. Shane McGuigan exposes how John Fury has often been more of a chaos creator than a stabilizing force in Tyson's career. This validates everything Till has been saying about John's destructive influence. McGuigan points out that Tyson actually thrives on focus and discipline, not drama and controversy. But John seems incapable of staying out of the spotlight or avoiding situations that create unnecessary tension. Till's criticism hits home here because he recognizes that Tyson's best performances come when he's mentally clear and focused on boxing, not dealing with family drama played out in public. The upcoming fights will show Tyson at his best precisely because he's separated himself from these distractions. Till is essentially defending Tyson's right to pursue greatness without having to manage his father's need for attention and controversy.
Well, whether he can take him or not, he shouldn't be taking him, and he knows that. But when he's on his A game and he boxes, he can box. He ticks all the boxes, trust me. And he's exciting as well. And he does the right thing with this level of opposition because he's walking through.
And here's what makes Till's position even stronger. Johnny Nelson acknowledges that Tyson faces challenges at 37, but Till would argue that experience, ring IQ, and technical skill matter more than age in heavyweight boxing. Young fighters might be hungry, but Tyson's footwork, timing, and boxing intelligence remain elite level. The fact that he's training in Thailand shows incredible commitment to his craft. Yet John Fury's public statements focus on doubt and limitation rather than acknowledging his son's proven ability to adapt and overcome. Till sees this as completely backwards. Instead of highlighting Tyson's strengths and experience, John creates narratives about decline and uncertainty. This kind of negative energy from family can be more damaging than any opponent's trash talk because it plants seeds of doubt that shouldn't exist.
Good. I think that mentally he's in a good place. Physically, he looked good as well. He's been working well out in Thailand, and I sort of agree with Paulie. I think that he's a massive addition to the heavyweight scene. He has been over the last 10 years, and I think it's good to have him back. We need the characters. Look, are the legs still there?